Some of our leaders, like Honorable Karen Nyamu, are very good at stirring controversy, and that leaves me with a lot of questions than answers, failing to understand if at all is there decorum usually required before they are mandated with some legislative responsibilities, or it is usually done just because they are well connected. In a recent video that she did, she was very categorically, blatantly telling the Murima electorates that they had first gusa the Murima, and they were now in this presidented tour, they were coming to insert a finger to the entire Murima.
Murima ni twahutirie
tuhutitie ahutia Murima
ni twahutirie round hii turenda kumeka kiri turenda kumekia
ya ena mapasta na nenda tukire ndawa kanitha nyi mwenyewe negoiga tosa so watu wote wakuje Sagana.
Of course, millions of Kenyans were completely left in a political quagmire, but from where I sit, I beg you, don't be shocked, simply because we Kenyans have had a tendency of electing charlatans, and as they say, our leaders are a clear reflection and a replica of who the people in the society are. And with Karen Nyamu, I kid you not, her case is not an exception. In Miguna's word, I would prefer calling her a socialite bimbo. But guess what? Who am I to judge? And from her statement, if I am just to look at it and demystify it in a political angle, then there are two things involved. One, this being politics, nothing has ever happened in mere coincidence. And with her statement, I kid you not, it is also not an exception. Two, why don't you see a string of possibilities like I do, that this could be a well choreographed narrative just for it to redirect and reshift Kenya's attention from the president's tour in the Mount Kenya region and rather focus with what Karen Nyamu uttered. Because I have personally been of the idea that nothing in politics happens by mere coincidence. And even if you go ahead and look at the timing that she uttered these provocative words, I kid you not, it more of looks like a well choreographed and a well designed narrative just for it to shift Kenyans' attention. And if you've painstakingly had a look at that video, then it must have brought your attention that, one, she seemed not to care, and two, she was so shameless, and if at all she never cared. Failure is that she ought to know that I don't care shall always lead to I wish I knew. This is a video that she did more than 48 hours ago, simply because I saw it the day before yesterday, and up to the time of this broadcast, none of the national broadcasters decided to air so that she can be brought to account, simply because she being in the public service, she ought to be answerable to each and everything that she does. But just because our democracy is still at its infancy stage, guess what? Anyone in the public service does what they see is fit for them without considering if at all it is likely to be provocative to the electorates. Had we been in a more advanced democracy, then I kid you not, by the time of this broadcast, two things would have already happened. One, she would have already left office, or two, she would have already been brought to account. But just because our democracy is still at its infancy stage, she is out there walking scot-free. And the bad or good thing with Kenyans is that we are very good at electing charlatans and putting them in office. And in fact, you shouldn't be left in a shock if at all you're going to see Kenyans, more so the Nairobians, elect Honorable Karen Nyamu as the woman representative of Nairobi come 2027. And if so happens, then automatically they will have already forgotten of her past misdemeanor in relation to public service. Because we Kenyans, as usual, we are usually too forgetful. But anyway, let us just sit, wait and see to see how the political unfoldings are likely to unwrap. And as I come to the penultimate part of this episode, that has just been my opinion. If by any chance you do have a contrary opinion to mine, you can as well. Just feel free to drop them in the comment section and I'll give them a right of reply. And by any chance, if you've been watching my videos and you have not subscribed, you can as well just consider hitting on the subscribe button. Thank you and may God bless you.
Murima nitwahutirie
Tuhutitie ahutia murima
nitwahutirie round hii turenda kumeka kirie turenda kumekia
ya na mapasta na nenda tukire elda kanitha ni mwenyewe negoiga tosa. So watu wote wakuje Sagana.